As we keep alluding on Fox Sports Radio, today's day one of your football boner.
That's right. 5 straight days of boner. Should I call a doctor? Because they always say if it lasts longer than 24 hours.
2 college football playoff games and then 3 days of wild card.
But you're calling it stiffies.
No, this is Overpromised. We can say what we want. This is our bonus show. Because normally we're on from 2 to 4 on the West, Fox Sports Radio, 5 to 7 on the East, Covino and Rich and Spotty's here. Do want to say, stay safe. The fires are terrible. We're okay, but sending good vibes and prayers to everybody affected. It's definitely scary, but we're good for now. And football is going to be a great distraction starting today.
Stay safe, but that 5 days of stiffy football action.
Swing.
NFL, college, swing. Shit's going to occupy you.
Oh, yeah. No, definitely going to keep you occupied for the next 5 days. In fact, we're going to talk about it later in the show. Rich has a college playoff parlay because we have some great college games and some wild card games. We're also going to talk playoff wild card, wild food this weekend. There's some wild food on the menu. We'll explain. But we got to start it off.
You're a wildly crazy guy.
With the best sports urban legends. Now,
well, there's a reason because there's a new entry if it's true.
We may have a new top 3, maybe a new number 1, right? There's some great stories in the world of sports. Some are true. Some are like, I don't know if they're true, but they're sports urban legends. And of course, we've discussed them in the past. One that comes to mind, Jordan gambling.
Of
right?
course, yeah.
We know he gambled, but did it get and go too far?
Is it the reason he left the NBA and came back? We may never know. That's on the list. You got to also think about just the numbers. If you do the math, it seems impossible for Wilt Chamberlain to have slept with 20,000+ women. Like, no one's penis could survive that.
20,000 women.
Look at those pants.
Again, that's one of the best urban legends. There's no doubt, again, where there's smoke, there's fire. With Jordan, with Wilt, we know he's slept with a lot of women, but 20,000 women, I don't know. Now, the bloody sock always comes up in conversation. We know it happened. We saw it. But the urban legend is it was fake. It was all staged.
Imagine.
It's possible.
That 2004 documentary about the Red Sox that's on Netflix, it made you realize that Curt Schilling just wanted to win, and beating the Yankees gave him a stiffy. I mean, he went out there. He wasn't sure he could play, but the actual blood, do you believe it? Some don't. Some say, it just added to the theatrics.
Well, you know what I say. Blood in, blood out, I say. And the story of Doc Ellis pitching a no-hitter on LSD, we always hear that story. It's just a matter of, I find it hard to believe, right? Like, I don't want to drive if I'm, under the influence. I mean, we shouldn't do that.
Of course,
but, I just can't imagine pitching a no-hitter when you're tripping.
Well, along the same lines, your boy David Wells, the joke was always he was on Saturday Night Live, got trashed with Jimmy Fallon and the whole cast, and that was the day he went and pitched a perfect game.
That's what he says. That's the legend. Again. When the legend becomes the story, print the legend. Now, speaking of drinking, Wade Boggs. This is like a 2-part story, 2-part urban legend. Because you always hear the legend of, his fried chicken. He needs his fried chicken. But the story
what is it, Pedro Serrano?
But the story that he drank, I think the number was always 64 beers.
64 beers on a flight.
64 Miller Lights or something on a flight. And you're like, no way did this dude drink 64 beers. And just recently, Rich, not too long ago, he was on Bert Kreischer's show. Bert Kreischer. Hi, Bert.
Hey, Bert.
And Bert was like, hey, you got to tell me the story. And Wade still doubles down. But get this, the legend grows. He says it was 88, 89.
Oh, come on.
Hold on. No, 1988, 89. He goes, we're taking a flight from Boston to LA. And he said he had 73 beers and then went 2 for 3 off Mark Langston the next day. And I'm like, 73 beers.
Well,
3, I'm good. 73.
That arguably unbelievable, but there was another beer story. Speaking of people drinking a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, he was the eighth wonder of the world.
Yes.
But there was always the rumor that Andre the Giant would have like 100 beers.
Oh, no. The greatest urban legend is that he farted for 16 seconds.
Did you know that story? On the set?
Was it 16 seconds?
On the set of Princess Bride, there's a rumor that Andre the Giant farted for 16 seconds.
Didn't he blow like Rob Reiner's toupee off or something like that? Yeah. Didn't he say like, sorry, boss? Yeah. Apparently he farted for like a record amount of time and people still talk about it. I forget who was there, but there's all sorts of urban legends. Rumor. Now, one of the greatest may lose its number one spot because I know you love the Kevin Costner, Cal Ripken story.
What I love about it is that it makes Cal Ripken mad.
Right.
If it's brought up, he is like adamantly denies and he's like, don't fucking talk about it. Like Cal Ripken gets angry when you talk about the rumor that during his Iron Man streak, the story is, again, allegedly, because he adamantly denies.
These are legends, urban legends.
He left his house to go to Camden Yards. Said, oh, I don't know, I forgot something. Turned around, went home, and found his wife in bed with Kevin Costner. Whoa! There was an altercation. Again, this is all urban legend that they got in a fight. Maybe there was like an arrest. And because of that, he would have lost his consecutive game streak. So Camden Yards fiddles with the lights. And there's this, the game's canceled tonight for, stadium malfunctions. Feels right to me.
Here's a shot of him walking in.
Whoa! Yeah. Imagine the shock. You know what you made me think of? Non-sports related, but one of my favorite urban legends, just period, is the Richard Gere story because I don't know how that happens. I don't know how the gerbil got involved in this story, but no one asks how the gerbil feels about being involved in this story.
And can I tell you?
Yeah.
It's probably someone he did dirty.
Yeah.
And they were like, you know what, Richard Gere? I'll show you. And they're like, you hear about Gere and the gerbil?
Now.
So this isn't a real photo?
No, I don't think it is. It could be AI, maybe. I don't know.
Some say AI. I thought last weekend.
You know, it could have been a spring break moment from back in the day.
What was the other one when we were kids that Paul Pfeiffer from the Wonder Years grew up to become Marilyn Manson?
That's another great urban legend, right?
They're all ridiculous.
In the world of sports, the Kevin Costner, Cal Ripken one was always a good one because there's something believable about it, and he was always defensive about it. Yeah. Now, there's a new one in town, and it involves Gilbert Arenas. Gilbert Arenas, former NBA star Gilbert Arenas, proposed to his girlfriend with a $400,000 ring.
Now, you might say, what? But this guy made millions and tens of millions of dollars.
Look, he played in the NBA for a long time. He's got a successful podcast. He's overly outspoken nowadays. The story goes like this. They broke up after 8 days. They eventually made up, and he faked a relationship with her for a few months so he could switch the ring out with a fake version. She sued him and lost.
Are you following that? He gave her almost a ring that was worth $500,000. Right. They break up, and she's probably thinking, well, fuck you, I got a $500,000 ring.
Man, I got to get that ring back.
Yo, baby, I'm sorry. They get back together. He has to fake the funk on the nasty dunk and the relationship for a few months so that he could find the perfect opportunity.
Do the switcheroo.
Cubic zirconia.
He probably, dips out, moonwalks out the door, got his ring. Later on, she's like, well, I still got my ring. Fuck him. Probably gets it appraised and then realizes, oh, shit, I got duped.
But are those rings now that you can get them they're like made in a factory?
Yeah. They're, what do they call them? What diamonds?
Lab diamonds?
Lab diamonds. So, yeah.
So he switched it out. And if that story is true, man, how crafty, how creative.
Crafty.
You almost have to give him a high five for that. If that's true, that has to be in the top 3 of all time sports urban legends. Because how many dudes get F'd too in this sort of situation? You know what I mean? I'm not saying Gilbert Arenas is innocent. I'm not saying, I don't even know why they necessarily broke up.
Who knows if he's a good dude?
I'm just saying, to pull this off, that's a majestic heist, and props to him for getting his ring back and money back, because too many women get away with the flip side of this. So props to him if true.
So that ring's fake?
I mean,
I don't know.
We don't know.
I think her name was Laura Govan. Laura Govan, and she was some sort of actress.
She's going to go on the little nuts when she finds out a ring's not
reality
worth
star,
anything.
reality TV personality. She then realized it was fake, and he got away with it. And props to him if true. Another sports urban legend to tell the grandkids one day.
Yeah. You know what?
I used to know a guy in the NBA. His name was Gilbert Arenas.
You know, as far as like scandalous ones, there's a bunch, but one of my favorite funny ones that I feel like I only learned about in the last couple of years. I want to throw it in there as well.
We have Dennis Rodman.
No, when Dennis Rodman told Carmen Electra that a woman fell out of the ceiling onto his penis.
She caught him cheating, and that was his excuse.
And she fell out of the ceiling.
Like, they fell out of the ceiling.
No. My favorite one.
That's how the story goes.
My favorite one that has to do with women is the story that Dikembe Mutombo would walk in a room with beautiful women and say the phrase, "Who wants to sex Mutombo?"
Yeah, that's why I say that till this day.
Yeah.
You didn't know I got that from him?
Is that foreplay?
Who wants to sex Covino? Yeah.
I don't think it works as well.
It works, but not as often as it did for Dikembe.
Oh, well.
But sports urban legends, add another one to the list.
Gilbert Arenas.
Gilbert Arenas.
If true, thumbs up.
Good for you. Now, we already talked about the 5 days of football boners that starts today, right?
If you're a football fan, honestly, it's hard not to say Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 5 days in a row. But it's not BS games. These are all games of significance. College playoffs and then 6 wild card games, and they're all really good matchups.
They're all great matchups. We're going to go over again the college playoff parlay, but along with playoff wild card weekend, you have to start making plans, right?
Yeah.
So first and mostly, enjoy your games. But if you're going to the games, they got some wild food on the menu this year.
You know what? I'm always about these stadiums trying new things because, listen, it's all evolution, baby. When we were kids, you go to the ballpark, the stadium, it was like a hockey puck shitty cheeseburger or a hot dog and like beer or soda. Now, these arenas and stadiums have sushi. They got gourmet smash burgers. They got chicken fingers. They got
nachos in a hat.
There was, what did Citi Field have? They had fried rainbow Italian cookies this past playoff season.
Looks like Juan Soto had all of them from the latest pictures.
You shut your damn mouth.
He's probably eating some right now.
Juan Soto's instead of center field having a double Shake Shack burger.
Now, we did briefly touch on this on our regular show on Fox Sports Radio. Again, Monday through Friday, 2 to 4 on the West, but we didn't have a whole lot of time to get into it, so we want to show you what these new items are.
Yeah, not only that,
here on Overpromised.
On Overpromised, if you're listening, we very much appreciate that, but why not watch? Because I'll be honest, I feel like this is better than most sports TV shows.
So yeah, if you're just listening to the podcast, we appreciate it.
There's
but
a whole video layer
on Fox Sports Radio's YouTube page. Let's start off with touchdown toast.
Oh, man.
Your
Look at
thoughts
this.
on this?
Touchdown toast is going to be served in Kansas City. Now, that, my friends, is,
Can I put ketchup on it?
no, this is
No, Patrick.
This is a breakfasty style entree. It's like French toast with ice cream, strawberries, and look at how thick that is. That's thick.
That's a loaf of bread.
That's THIICC.
That's thick.
Yeah, but you know what? Football and food are just so synonymous. It really is. There's a whole theory and conspiracy in sports urban legend that football is just one big conspiracy to push food. Have you seen that?
But lately, the stadiums are delivering, and this is the the touchdown toast that Kansas City is going to serve up. I'll be honest, who doesn't like French toast and berries and whipped cream and ice cream? It sounds good to me.
I would have tons of regret and remorse eating this, but I absolutely would. That's the truth.
Shit looks good to me.
Disgusting after this.
I'd hate myself. You're right, but I would definitely eat it, and I could probably finish the whole thing.
Spot's right. You know how you love to say, Covino loves to get in your head when we have Mexican food. He's like, for every 4 nachos you have, that's 1 tortilla.
That's true.
Yeah, this is probably 8 pieces of French toast.
Look at that. It's a loaf of bread.
Yeah,
it's a whole loaf of
You just
bread.
ate a whole
You
loaf.
had a loaf of bread, you slob.
And you go in there with, you know what? I'll try it. It's the playoffs. Let's get wild, man. And then you're like, yeah, I'll try it. Yeah, and then you finish the whole thing.
Like you and your girl, like, hey, let's share that touchdown toast.
She
I'm
has
sure it's
one
great.
bite and your
She's
fat
one
ass
bite,
eats
yeah,
the rest.
like,
Let's move on to Philadelphia, who's hosting a playoff game this weekend. You're gonna have the Pretzel John, and when I say John, you know what that is? It's like a Philadelphia, Pennsylvania slang word. It can mean a thing, it can mean a place, it can mean an event. Like it's interchangeable. Like it's
I don't
a
like
weird
the name, and I say that respectfully.
Yeah, pretty cool though. They made a pretzel in the shape of the eagle.
Look,
Which, by the way, the only logo in the NFL that faces this way. You know that?
Smears of
I know that.
sauces.
I know why they do it, because the feathers on the eagle form the shape of an E for eagle. So it's the only logo that goes the opposite direction. There's an E hidden in there.
It's a pretzel.
But
It's a pretzel with some dippins.
say no disrespect to the Philly fans that use the word John, because that's your thing. But I don't feel comfortable saying it. It's not a word I use. I don't like it.
Be the guy,
it's probably tasty as hell, but I'd be like, can I get the pretzel thing, please?
You won't say the word John, but
I'm not going to say it.
the
I don't
question
use
is,
that
I'm
word. It's
gonna
like people that, all right, maybe this is a stretch, but do you ever use the word haunt for your local haunt?
my guy like Spot does.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't. Yeah, man, just
My
local
hanging out
haunt at my local haunt. I'm like, that's not a word I use. Just like I don't use the word John. So, hey, can I have a pretzel? Thanks. Yeah, the one with the eagle on it.
Well, I'm going to judge you right
You're
now.
also the same guy that will never order the Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity.
I don't like that.
There's a drink back in the day. I've known Covino a long time. Remember when Jamba Juice was all the rage?
Yeah.
Covino refused to order the drink. What was it the orange
Dream Machine.
Dream Machine? He's like, the orange one. You mean the Dream Machine? I'm not saying it.
Some girl's like, I swear to you. She's like, just say it. I'm like, no, give me the orange creamsicle thing.
When Covino gets his
Dream Machine?
when Covino gets his overpriced smoothie at Whole Foods, he refuses to say the peanut buttery.
That's true. I'm like, give me the
peanut
chocolate one
one.
with the peanut butter. And this is the latest one. This really happened.
What
I
is
swear
this
to
called
God.
again? What is it called?
It's called the give me
orange
the
one.
creamsicle one. You mean the Dream Machine?
Nope.
Yeah. The orange one. Yeah, give me that one. Dude, I swear to God. I was at a restaurant not too long ago. You might remember this. And I wanted an old fashioned. Just give me the old fashioned. And they looked at me like, we don't know what you're talking about. Do you mean the whiskey business? And I'm like, just give me the old fashioned. Stop with your nonsense.
What would you call
The
that,
whiskey
sir?
business. So anyway, that being said, just give me the pretzel with the eagle. Thank you.
Pretzel
Appreciate
with
it.
the eagle. I'm going to
But it's
judge
just
you.
a regular pretzel.
I'm going to judge you right now.
It's just a flat
If
pretzel.
it's like a buttery Auntie Anne's Wetzel's pretzels, now you're
I'll
talking.
take that.
But let's say you do that. I'm judging you completely by your answer. What are you dipping it in? Cheese? Like
Gives
a
you-
butter sauce?
it
Like a
gives you
mustard?
three
Like
options.
yeah, like what's your dip in a choice?
no caramel?
So that looks like a mustard, a cheese,
And a chipotle?
maybe like a pesto. I don't
Oh.
know.
What is that? Tzatziki sauce?
I'm down for all those dippings.
Oh, green mustard. It's
that
green
ranch?
mustard. Oh, obviously Eagles green
yeah,
mustard.
green mustard.
Okay.
Mustard?
Green
Mustard.
mustard, cheese, or some sort of ranchy looking sour cream
I'm
thing.
going all dippings, I think.
I'm going all three if they're going to give them to me.
By
But
the
if
way-
they're going to charge me extra, I'm going mustard.
Can we
I
all-
don't like the green mustard, but let's just go mustard.
And I know it's for presentation, but can we all agree that is not nearly enough dippins?
Oh no, I need ramekin after ramekin of dippings.
For a pretzel that size, I'm gonna need a bucket of dippins.
So
No
again,
doubt.
it's playoff wild card weekend. These are the new wild food items
There's
available.
one more. There's one more
Yep.
doozy, and that's if you're down in Texas. Because what did they say? Everything's bigger in Texas. So
Even the asses out there.
how about those big asses, and how about the bigger in Texas tamale?
Nice. I
So,
like it.
I would crush the shit out of that too.
Hell yeah.
Nothing better than a good tamale, especially Texas, so that you know they're doing it right. And they got different sauces, different green sauces, verde sauces. They got everything.
I'm all for it. It fits the city, Texas.
Yeah, but it
fits
looks-
the state. I like it.
That's gonna be so. It looks like a giant loaf of cornbread that's stuffed. It
You
doesn't
know what
even
it looks
look
like?
a
It looks like a
tamale.
little tamale with the chef hat on.
We get it. It does. It does. Maybe that's what it's supposed to look like. I don't know. But we get it to share, and then you eat the whole thing. And you hate yourself.
Right.
But again, it's wild card weekend.
tamale.
Got to get wild, man. Get wild. You know what? I tell you what. I think this wins because it's not as gluttonous and gross as the loaf of bread French toast, right?
Cornmeal, right?
Why?
And the
'Cause there's
pretzel,
meat in it?
the pretzel's really not that inventive. It's just a flat pretzel with a cool logo on it. So I'm going with the bigger in Texas tamale.
I got to ask you.
Yeah.
You do, however, agree that
Winner.
these stadiums are doing a good thing by giving cool options, right?
Yeah, no, I'm not against or allergic to fun at all on new options and new menu items, especially for a special weekend like this. Like
No
I said.
diggity. No
It's been an emotional week, especially here in LA. I'm not going to stifle anybody's fun. Have fun, get wild card weekend, stuff your face, and enjoy. If you're there, you got to get some of this stuff. That's
Well,
part of the novelty, especially if
I
you're
agree.
bringing kids or your family. Hey, kids, we got tickets. It's not every year your team makes the playoffs, and you're like, we're getting that pretzel John. I'll even say pretzel John.
Fill your belly with joy.
There you go. Like, look at
Like
that.
Juan
Look
Soto.
how happy he looks.
Yeah, you're gonna be so mad when he hits 50 home runs and the Yankees are win 82 games this
You're
year.
gonna hit him
Can
off
he
his
play
belly?
when he's 6 months pregnant? I don't know.
Yeah, so when's he head out on maternity leave?
Not pregnant. Too many pretzel Johns. They had too many.
Too many pickerel Texas tamales.
I could be he.
You guys not done with the touchdown toast?
And by the way, I'm hating on him if you're new to the show because I'm a Yankees fan. That's why.
I love Juan Soto. That's my motherfucker.
All right.
Let's go to my playoff parlay. College football playoff, I think, is the best thing that's happened to college football. It's leveled the playing field. All the top seeds.
Better than NIL?
Dude, NIL and the playoff combined has given, for the casual college football fan, more interest, to be honest, because when you do the math, you know who would have been in the college playoff if they did it old school style? The championship would have been Georgia against Oregon. Where are those two teams now? Sitting on their ass. So it just gives a little more opportunity for teams to show, no, they may be ranked number one, but the old system of, hey, ranked is what matters. F that.
Yeah, you got 5-4 going at it, and what, 6-3?
Think about that. If any other sport was like, yeah, we're just going to give the championship to the team we think is best. And then they were like, well, now we'll have a game. All right, now we'll make it a couple teams. By making it the bigger playoff, it really is just enhanced college football. So we got 2 games today and tomorrow. You'll get your championship game after the next 2 days. But here's what I like. Notre Dame and Penn State. This is a point spread of 1.5. I can't imagine having a feeling on this game that's that drastic. So I'm not even going to care who wins. But if you look at the past 5 games or so from each team, I think we're going to see more offense. And the over-under is only at 44. So I could argue that you could see both of these teams easily scoring in the 20s. So I like the over. Forget the point spread. I like the over in Penn State, Notre Dame. And simply just because they've looked so dominant, they beat other good teams by significant margins. And your brother-in-law, Chris, Ohio State, gotta love them. I just like Ohio State by 6.
Beating number 3 Texas?
Beating Texas. I just think that Texas is good, but I don't think they could stop Ohio State. And I just think I like Ohio State winning by a touchdown. And I just like the over in Notre Dame, Penn State. So lock that in. College football playoff, Covino and Rich.
Wow.
Look at that.
Use code CRSHOW, CRSHOW
Yeah,
for
buddies.
Covino and Rich Show. Thanks again to DraftKings. And thanks again for using the code. Enjoy your foosball, everybody.
5 days of bonus.
Wow. 5 days of bonus.
5 days of bonus. Enjoy. And hey, stay safe on the West Coast, and we'll see you later. Until then, arrivederci, baby.
See you in the Overpromised land.
Bye.